3 women dealing with the after effects of work under Major Stacey Allen at the West Memphis Police Department. They saw this. And that meant allegations of sexual harassment. Our coverage of an independent report commissioned by City Council that looked into allegations of misconduct in the West Memphis Police Department. In it, an independent lawyer hired to investigate calls Major Allen's behavior long-standing, noting substantiated harassment and discrimination complaints going back to at least 2017.
And he said, the way your mouth is, somebody just needs to put you over their knee and give you a good spanking.
This is one of 3 women giving us a first-hand account of what it was like working under Allen. How did you feel seeing her story?
To tell you the truth, it was the first time I think I've been able to fully exhale in 4 years. For once, somebody was listening. For once, somebody was actually telling our stories.
This woman says she routinely witnessed discrimination and abusive behavior too many times to count.
He would make comments about how children of interracial couples were worthless. He looked at a dispatcher and told her the reason why she's married to a white man is because she doesn't know how to handle real D.
Another says she was the target of many of the comments.
Let me come over and, let me do things to you, things like that. Just every day, and everything was sexual. Don't flip your hair the wrong way.
The 3rd woman we spoke with alleges Allen began sexually harassing her as far back as 2009. She believes he got her phone number from her employee paperwork and started calling to ask her out, telling her things like, "You need to be with me," saying her white husband don't know how to handle you. She says when she turned him down, she became a target and was called a black expletive. They say Allen's behavior has a racial bias.
Well, out of all the women that I have observed sexually harassed, never was it a white woman. It was always a black woman.
They don't want their faces shown because they say Allen retaliates professionally and personally. The 3rd woman says he even stalked her. It's part of why they no longer work for the West Memphis Police Department.
I would be followed going to and from work, from and to my house. I'd even gone out on dates, and he would say, "Did you have fun with that young man last night?" I would be followed in Walmart.
If you said, or you didn't ask a question that he thought you should ask, or you didn't ask it the way he wanted you to ask it, you were being berated. You were being threatened with your job.
According to the investigation, these women reported this behavior to officials at West Memphis Police. Their statements are all included. And we know one dispatcher filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission in 2017. In fact, when this woman found out an outside attorney was investigating Allen, she thought it was safe. Well, why did you decide to come back in January of 2021?
Stacey was gone. He was on suspension. We all believed that he was going to be fired. I mean, how could you not with the allegations against you?
But they soon learned of Allen's punishment, a 5-day suspension without pay based on employee complaints of intimidation and harassment. He kept his rank as major. What do you think of the discipline that the police department decided for him?
It's a joke.
He doesn't need to be an officer. This is a dark stain on what police stand for.
Mayor Marco McClendon defends the city's decision.
I did not see sexual harassment in the investigation.
What would it have taken to terminate Allen?
What would it take if it would have came out to show that he had grossly abused his power and his authority, and it was proven and shown through the investigation?
And in a letter appealing his suspension, Allen himself says the investigation violated department policy and his constitutional rights. He says he never got a hearing or any chance to address the allegations against him. It's worth noting city officials also defended the city and Allen in the earlier EEOC case. The city attorney says the charging party failed to provide any evidence of sexual harassment or a hostile work environment and calls her retaliation claims without merit. The long ordeal has left its mark on these former employees, still haunted by their experience.
I'm so appreciative to have seen that this was finally being acknowledged by someone after years of being swept under the rug by the department. I've always held out hope that he would go ahead and get what he deserved so I could come back home.
It's not to make an officer look bad. It's to tell the truth of what we lived through.
They only hope their words will lead to more action.
The women we spoke with say they're also considering filing a lawsuit against the city for what they experienced. In West Memphis, Stacey Jacobson, WREG News Channel 3.